Hey everyone, today I want to showcase the new to-do list or task list, which is a feature which has recently been introduced in the insiders version. How does it look like? So if we'll take a closer look at the chat, I'll make it a bit bigger, we can see that we have a new built-in tool to-dos. And if we want to take even a closer look, so in the configure tools, if I'm going to write to-dos, we can see the tool, and let's hover above it and oh, nice. Um, so we will be able maybe to see that, yeah, small bug, but come on, insiders. Okay, so manage a structured to-do list to track progress and plan tasks throughout your coding session. Use this tool very frequently to ensure task visibility and proper planning, when to use it, more importantly, when not to use it. So when to use it when you have a complex multi-step work, when not, for single trivial tasks that can be completed in one step. So this is really important that we understand when to use it. Now, I can't stress this enough. Even before we start, I played a little bit with the tool. And up until now, when I wanted to execute a very big plan, so I iterated on ask mode, planned my PRD, then I went to agent mode. I asked it to break it to smaller parts. I used empty files to output the task, so it will be um, saved and kept even if VSCode is closed or between sessions, or used some external tools like Taskmaster. All of this was working. But what I saw with the to-do list, which is very different from what I just described that I was using before, is that a to-do list is executed until all tasks are exhausted. This is really important point, because up until now with the previous techniques that I was using, so it did one part and then stopped, asked me for more input, told me I did until step 2, do you want me to continue? Each one of those, so first of all, I cannot trust the agent to continue working and I can go drink coffee and come back. And also each iteration is a premium request, but with the to-do list, there's pure agency for the agent. If I have 15 steps in the to-do list, it will actually try to go ahead and one shot. It's not exactly one shot, but it will be a one shot premium request that will try to exhaust all of the tasks in the to-do list till completion. This is amazing, both in when you're managing rate limited or budget constrained a premium request, and overall with the value that we get, because we're actually getting full iteration until all of the requirement is being fulfilled. So let's jump right into it. There is no clear guide yet because this is a really new feature, but in order to use it, I can just simply, one thing that I learned, you need to be on agent mode. In ask mode, it didn't add the tasks, which maybe it's obvious, I don't know, but agent mode. And I can simply ask it, create a to-do list task, create a workspace. And what we'll see is that the agent, it will tell me that it creates a to-do list, and we'll see some new UI being added. Okay, so creating to-do list, and we see here the task, create new workspace. This UI is quite limited. I can only see the task. I can minimize and open it. This is important when it gets bigger because it will cover the main window. And currently what we can do like basic CRUD operations, add a task, remove a task, and tell it to change the status as well. So it says a to-do list has been created with the first task, etc., etc. I can ask it add a new task, and create a video about to-do list. And we will see that it will understand that it needs to add it as the second task. help on create to do video, and we can also just ask it to do's, ask it to tell us what's happening in the task list, reading all items in to-do list. Great, with some details. I can also ask it what is the status of each one and change it. But this is quite a simple example. It's not something that we would want the agent to iterate on. So let's see something a bit more elaborated. I asked the agent in Ask mode to create a PRD for a Node microservice to manage users. I found some article, asked it to use it as a inspiration, create a detailed plan with steps, and you can see that I have here quite the detailed plan, multiple steps, core features, API endpoints, technology stack, architecture, etc., phases. Let's go till the end. Yeah, this is quite intense and impressive. And of course, like any good agent, it tells me it's going to take 10 weeks. So you'll need to spend with me this video for 10 weeks, but obviously we won't spend that much. So let's see how we can turn such a big plan to something that we don't need any external tool anymore. I'll switch to agent because, as I said, we already learned that you need agent mode, and I'll ask it to create a detailed task list using to-do, to-dos. Let's see if this will be enough. Maybe I don't need to even write using to-dos. The semantics are still a bit confusing because some places it's to-dos, some places it's task list. But let's see, it says I'll create a comprehensive task list based on the PRD for the Node user management. Let me break down all implementation steps into a manageable to-dos. Okay, so first of all, it's augmenting the plan to something that can be put inside a to-dos list. This will obviously be a bit more prolonged than the previous simple one-liner to-dos, because we have quite a big PRD. Okay, so it did create an impressive, comprehensive. By the way, this cannot be scrolled, and I'm in quite a big zoom, so you can see it when I'm sharing. But this is a huge task list. So here's, whoa, okay, 55 steps. So you remember what I said? It's going to try to one-shot all of this in a single session. So here's the first feedback. You cannot scroll this. You need to be able to scroll this. And it's also hiding the chat. But let's continue and see. Basically, it gave me like some summary of the plan that it created. And okay, nice. And now it is asking me to start and set the first task as in progress. So let's tell it to start, and let's see how it looks. So we don't have a lot of details in this list beside the actual steps. Let's see what an in progress UI looks like. I'll help you get started. Reading all items in to-do list. First task in progress. Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess it's taking quite a lot because it's a big to-do list. But there's always step one. One day, day one. Okay, updating to-do list. Okay, so In progress, status looks like a green circle with a dot in it. Okay, and it's asking me to create a directory. The nice thing about this, I think, is that if I would have been in YOLO mode or maybe ran it inside a container, so I would give it a YOLO mode permission. So let's say I could have left the computer on, go drink coffee, come after I don't know how long, and get all of this implemented in a single shot. So that's quite impressive if this is actually the case. Unfortunately, I won't wait with you here to see that it's actually one-shotting everything. Let's zoom out a bit, see, so it's created a package JSON, great, and let's create the project folder. Okay, so it's creating the structure, set a project foundation, all of this is in the first step. So I let it work a bit, and maybe we'll speed it up in editing. So you and me, because I'm actually experimenting with this feature with such a large to-do list for the first time. Let's see what happens. So see you in a bit. Okay, so once while I was speeding it up, I encountered in live demo issues. So I had low connectivity and everything was slow. I had to switch to my mobile hotspot, but now it finished installing the npm dependencies, and it says now let's mark the first task as completed. Let's see how it looks like. We have a green ticker, and then step number 2 is now in progress. And we can see that it's now continuing to the second step, creating the development environment. So now it's creating the Docker compose and Docker file and creating some initialization. We can see already that we have some bootstrapping of the project. It's nice. And we'll let it continue a little bit. And I think I can already start summing up a little bit. So a few things that I'm seeing, which I think are worthwhile talking about, is first of all, as we said, the task list. I think that the user experience here can be a bit better. First of all, you cannot scroll it. The fact that it goes over the chat, so I would like to see it being able to be open in a separate tab and not only in this way. Also, I'm missing a bit of metadata. I would love to see, like, let's say for the task that was done, so when it was created, when it was updated, and maybe some the the specific chat parts which are related to it, and the sorry, and also the Git like details, which files were edited and how. Because think about it, when if all of these 55 steps will be done in one shot, it will be hell to come and try to figure out what happened. And then if I can see it in a Git style, like maybe even connected to a Git, I can probably tell the agent to do it. But being able to see the files that were changed and when, and understand the chat parts that contributed to this would be amazing. Something else that I see, there's a lot of context going on here, right? So basically, oh nice, it's even stepping, see, it even stepped to task 5 from 2. Let's see if it explains. Okay, so it's complete and start task 5. Really interesting to see why it chose not to do, because if I read it, I can also understand maybe why these are not the correct items in this order to set up CI/CD at this part and initialize database schemes. It's maybe more important to set the express. So it's interesting to see that the agent is moving along in its own trajectory. But going back to the feedback, so I think that doing all of this in one chat will blow the context away. We'll get a lot of summarization and lose context. Maybe having the ability to open each task in a separate window, doing the task there, summarizing the gist of it, and giving it back to the main task orchestration would be a better approach. And then, obviously, with the previous part, if I can see each step with details, if I click on it or something, so I will understand what happened in this chat window. I won't need to have it open. So these will be great additions. So we said the metadata, details attached to it, being able to put it in a different view. All of this would be awesome. Managing it in a Git style way. I think that it's already amazing, but there are a few rough edges that can be done here. But I'm going back to the amazing power tool that we have here. Look at this amazing list, and the fact that the agent now knows at each step, again, what's the next step, and to implement the current step in mindfulness of the next one, and having the trajectory in mind all the time. I think this will make the overall performance and the value and quality of execution much better than what we saw before. Maybe like me and some of you, you already used external tools to do it and already saw how this can be done. So you already tasted a little bit from what the AI can do. But now that it's built in, like in other tools like LoadCode or Cursor, so this is an amazing boost to VS Code. I would love to tell you to stay with me until all of the 55 steps will adjourn and we'll see a full-blown users microservice. I'll save you. If it will be good at the end, maybe I'll publish it. But again, amazing tool. I'm very excited about this. I can already see how I can use it at work, and I'm going to use it a lot. So interested to hear from you feedback and how you think you're going to use it. And if someone from the VS Code team is looking at this, I would love you to hear out the feedback. I think it's amazing and we can do it even better. So thank you for this. Have a great day.